This is the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, keeping you informed about the happenings in Annapolis and the area. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and of course, local weather. The Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Monday, March 23rd, 2020. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Boy, one heartbreaking story out of Anne Arundel County and the Anne Arundel County Police Department. Back in November of 19, they were called to the 8500 block of Creek Road in Pasadena. The caller to 911 said his 91-year-old father was in distress. When the paramedics arrived, they found just the most horrible scene that you could possibly imagine. They found the father lying on a mattress which was sunken in the bedroom, lying in his own bodily fluids with insects and flies in the bedroom, along with a strong odor of excrement. They had to cut him from the mattress before taking him to the hospital because he was stuck to it with a layer of dried excrement. When he arrived at the hospital, the nurses observed insect activity on his body. Utensils and body caps were found pressed into his skin, excrement all over his body, and they had to shave his beard in order to clean his face. Unfortunately, he did not survive, and he passed away at 1:51 p.m. that afternoon. Anne Arundel County Police did do their investigation. They did do a number of interviews. They visited the home, confirmed everything the paramedics in the hospital had said, and actually a couple of weeks ago, the Office of the Chief Medical Examiners ruled the manner of death as a homicide, and the cause was described as pneumonia with ulcers and a consequence of neglect. The police department did obtain a warrant for the son, who is now a 56-year-old male living in the 8500 block of Creek Road, and he was arrested without incident and charged with second-degree murder, manslaughter, abuse of a vulnerable adult who is a house and family member, abuse of a vulnerable adult as a custodian, and reckless endangerment. He is currently being held at the Jennifer Road facility awaiting a hearing. Today at 11 a.m., Governor Hogan is going to be holding a press conference to announce additional actions and to update us on the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic. I suspect we're going to hear a closure of essential businesses or possibly a shelter in place, which has been happening pretty much all over the country. You want to stay tuned for that. We will have that information as soon as it's available. His press conference is at 11 a.m. Due to the coronavirus, there is a shortage of blood, and the American Red Cross will be holding an appointment-only blood drive starting today that will go until March 25th, and this is going to be held at the Pip Moyer Rec Center in Annapolis. It'll be held in the main gym. The hours are 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You cannot walk up there and donate blood, even though you may have done so in the past. This is an appointment-only drive, and you do need to go to redcrossblood.org to make an appointment. Again, that is redcrossblood.org. On Friday night, the Naval Academy announced that a civilian employee at the Naval Academy had tested positive for the coronavirus. He is currently isolated in his own residence and receiving care as needed. And the Naval Academy still remains in close coordination with state, federal public health authorities to make sure that all personnel on the yard are safe. Speaking of catching the coronavirus, a House of Delegates staffer has tested positive for this, and this is a committee staffer that apparently worked on the Environment and Transportation Committee. That person has not been in work since last Monday, but according to a spokesman from the Maryland House of Delegates, they are feeling better as we speak. In County Executive Pittman's town hall on Saturday, and it is a virtual town hall. He does have them every Saturday at 11 a.m. You do want to tune into them, but he announced that what they're going to be doing is upping the testing sites here in Anne Arundel County. They are going to get a drive-through testing site as well as direct testing inside what they've deemed congregant sites. They have been working with the Maryland Department of Health as well as hospitals to find a drive-through testing site. And as far as the congregant sites, and what they're doing is they're looking for the most vulnerable populations who live in the county and taking the testing to them. That would be senior and nursing homes as well as homeless living in encampments. They've established a strike team that can respond directly to the facility should someone be coming down with symptoms that are consistent with the coronavirus. They can get them the test, get them in isolation, and do what they need to do, hopefully preventing an outbreak at that location. Now, as far as the drive-up testing goes, you are not going to be able just to go up there on your way to the dry cleaner and get tested. You do need to have a note from your doctor or the county health department saying that you can get the test. They are still in very short supply, and the minimum requirements for getting a note to get that would be a persistent shortness of breath and fevers that last for at least 72 hours, and there may be some more requirements before you do that. And speaking of an update on the COVID-19 pandemic, on Saturday we did our very first live podcast podcast/Facebook Live event. And we had all sorts of people that came in over the span of 2 hours to talk about COVID-19 and businesses. We led it off with Comptroller Peter Francho, who's got some great ideas as far as how to help businesses when we come out of the tail end of this. County Executive Pittman was on there, Mayor Buckley, business organizations that are stepping up to the plate and actually doing something and making a difference. Hat tip to Gene for that phrase, making a difference. Several different businesses, as well as an unemployed server that was able to talk to us and how it is affecting him. It was a little bit long, 2 hours, worth the listen. You can find it at All Annapolis. You can find it at the Maryland Crabs podcast right now. And if I get some time a little bit later on today, I will release that as a bonus podcast over here on the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief channel. Now, let's try to get back to a little bit of normalcy. I always like to try to end these daily news briefs with a little bit more of an upbeat tone than a downbeat tone, which has sort of been hard to do for the last couple of weeks here. So we're going to try it today, and we're going to try to continue that moving forward. And I do apologize for some delayed postings over on eyeonannapolis.net. I am going to get that caught up, hopefully today, knocking on wood. But the good news today is that the Annapolis Film Festival, which was scheduled to take place March 27th through 29th right here in Annapolis at 5 locations where you could walk all around Annapolis and see movies to your heart's content, is not happening at those locations. But you know what? It is happening in your living room. And this is exciting. The Annapolis Film Festival has been working very hard for the last couple of weeks to be able to bring it to you in a streaming version. If you have purchased tickets or purchased passes, you will get an email later on today explaining how you can sign up and get, quote, onboarded into the Annapolis Film Festival channel. You will be able to watch the movies, you'll be able to pause them, go to the bathroom, get a drink, fast forward them, rewind them if you missed something, but you're not going to be able to stop them and restart them again. That has to do with all the licensing and everything else. If you did not buy a ticket or a pass for the film festival, you can buy them now. You can go to AnnapolisFilmFestival.com/AFF channel. Individual tickets or multi-film weekend passes are available starting today. Now, I would say that since we are looking at potentially being told to shelter in place, but certainly isolating ourselves in our homes and working from home as best we can, this would be a perfect weekend to see some great movies. These guys really do a great job of curating it and getting movies that really gets you thinking. I do highly recommend that. Again, you can view them from the 27th through the 29th. Tickets are on sale a little bit later today at AnnapolisFilmFestival.com. Well, I hope you got a chance to catch the Legacy Business Spotlight on Saturday. We spoke with Joyce Smithey of Smithey Law Group, and really actually a very fun conversation we had. She is a labor and employment attorney with 20 years experience based right here in West Annapolis, and we talked about bad bosses and bad employees and, you know, what she can do. And it was really very interesting. I do recommend that you give that a listen if you have not done that. Up next Saturday, we've got Pedal Power Kids, and after that, I may go on a little bit of a hiatus on the Legacy Business Spotlight just because of this whole Corona thing. I don't want to get into doing it on the phone. I want to do it in person. I think they're much better that way. I do have a couple in the can, but we'll see how that goes. But next Saturday, Pedal Power Kids, which is kind of fun there. Okay, that is it for today. Please make sure you're checking out eyeonannapolis.net throughout the day because we do update it throughout the day. And we will have that update from Governor Hogan and all of the new initiatives that he's bringing forth a little bit later on today. If you're someplace you can give us a rating or a review, please do that. And let your friends and family know about us as well. If you like what we do, please let them know that you like what we do. It is Monday, so of course we have Alsina with your Money Monday report. And as we do every day, we've got George Young standing by with your local DMV weather forecast, all coming up after this brief message from Solar Energy Services.
Hello, Marylanders. I'm Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. Have you been thinking about solar for your home or business? If so, now's the time. The economics of solar are better than ever, and there's no better source than the trusted team at Solar Energy Services. We're the local experts with the best reviews in town. We've been around for 40 plus years, and we'll be here even longer to back up the generous warranties we offer. Let me put the solar economics in perspective. A typical residential solar investment in Maryland has an annual rate of return between 8 and 12%. And where can you get 10% annual returns for more than 25 years with very low risk? Not in savings, not even in stocks. So make your smartest investment ever by installing solar now and enjoy the satisfaction of doing your part for clean energy. Don't wait another minute. Sunshine's a wasted. Call today, 410-923-6090, or visit solarsaves.net.
Going out? You need the most up-to-date local weather. Here's George Young from DMV Weather in Annapolis with today's forecast.
Hey everyone, this is George with DMV Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Monday, March 23rd. It was a nice, albeit cool weekend across the Annapolis region with plenty of sunshine after some early AM showers on Saturday, but today will be a step in the opposite direction with highs only 45 to 50 degrees and plenty of rain throughout the day, in which 1 inch or more of total rainfall is possible. From there, the area will see a break on Tuesday with mixed skies and highs in the 50s, followed by then more rain on Wednesday with highs again in the 50s. Followed by yet another break on Thursday with sunshine and highs in the 60s, before a third chance of rain emerges during the end of the week, with showers possible Friday and Saturday as the frontal boundary moves over the area and temps remain in the 60s. So stay dry and warm today and keep the umbrella handy as we move through the week. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DMV Weather. Make it a great day out there. And be sure to follow us on all of your devices by searching DCMDVA Weather in the Apple or Google App Store. And also be sure to use our website at dmvweather.com and our Facebook and Twitter pages so you can always stay weather informed.
This is TJ Smith. I'm running to be your mayor. I'm not a politician. I'm a lifelong public servant. And right now, in our city, there is no more urgent time to serve. We need to turn the page on corruption at City Hall that spanned a decade and be swift and bold in reducing crime and trauma. It's time we think different, Baltimore. We need to want more. We need to expect more. I'm TJ Smith. And with your support, I know that we can be more.
Paid for by friends of TJ Smith, Carlton F. Senior Treasurer.
Your money, managing and investing it can be confusing and sometimes scary. Here to help you put your financial picture into focus is Ann Alsina from CovingtonAlsina with your Monday Money Report.
This is Ann Alsina of CovingtonAlsina with your Monday Money Report. Oh my. Through Thursday of last week, the markets continued to drop, down over 25% from the record highs earlier this year. That sounds terrifying, doesn't it? On the surface, it certainly does. But for some perspective, consider that this drop brings us back roughly to market levels from 3 years ago, meaning that, as a whole, the markets are priced about where they were in 2017. Not quite as terrifying. There's a ton of uncertainty out there, not just about our investments in the market, but our daily lives. Work, school, health, family. What we do know for certain is that markets have been through crazy things before, and they bounce back, which means that selling now because you're scared is just as silly as panic buying and hoarding toilet paper. There's a lot of good news out there. The Federal Reserve has refinanced a large amount of our federal debt, which helps our country because we will be paying less interest on that debt for years to come. Multiple companies here and in the UK, like GM, Rolls-Royce, and Dyson, have either offered or already started switching their manufacturing lines to building ventilators and other needed medical equipment. Multiple drugs are being tested for efficacy in treating the disease, and we've already started clinical trials on a vaccine. Our supply lines, getting food to grocery stores, raw materials to companies, and wine to our homes, are holding up. The federal government has pushed back the deadline for tax filing and payments to July 15th. The Federal Reserve and the European Central Bank have both taken extraordinary measures to keep liquidity in the financial system. The U.S. government has passed round 2 and is working on round 3 of a stimulus package. In Maryland, we have filed the paperwork to be declared an economic disaster area, opening up SBA loans with looser underwriting standards to small businesses affected by the shutdowns. America generally doesn't do a good job of preparing. We wait until we're sucker punched, and then we respond with a vengeance. There's an urban legend that still resonates, that after Pearl Harbor, when most of Japan was celebrating the success of the raid on our battleships, Admiral Yamamoto said, "I fear we have awakened a sleeping giant and filled him with a terrible resolve." We are on war footing now, and our country will respond. If you want to take action on a personal level, some ideas. Consider a partial Roth for IRA or 401k conversion. This is a taxable event, so consult with your tax advisor, but the move can have significant impact in retirement. Look at refinancing your mortgage. Rates are hovering around 3%, the lowest we've seen since they began tracking mortgage rates. If you have after-tax or non-qualified accounts, look at tax loss harvesting. Being a good time to reduce concentrated stock positions you might have held on to because of capital gains. Increase your retirement account contribution rates. Buying low is like eating cold, wilted spinach. It doesn't taste very good going down, but it is good for you. There's a lot more information about the market on our website at www.CovingtonAlsina.com and our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/CovingtonAlsina. We're sending out emails with research and investment commentary, and you can sign up on our Facebook page for that as well. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Great Valley Advisor Group, a registered investment advisor. Covington-Alsina and Great Valley Advisor Group are separate entities from LPL Financial. All performance reference is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. The opinions voiced in this show are for general information only, are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which strategies or investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, and financial advisor or tax advisor prior to investing. And if you don't have a financial advisor or you haven't heard from yours, come talk to us. This is Ann Alsina with CovingtonAlsina.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis. And also tell them about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. This podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m., keeping you informed with the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. And take a moment to listen to our other podcast, The Maryland Crabs, released every Thursday at noon.